In this video, we will go over how to run reports to track all your accounting, including your accounts receivable, payments, revenue, and your taxes. Begin by going over to your Reports tab. From here, we will select what report category we want to run. Let's begin with your accounts receivable. Once in a report category, you will be able to view existing reports that were previously created. You can select to view, edit, or run any of these reports. In this example, we will build a new report together. You will begin by giving your new report a name. You also have the option to provide a description for this report. If you are using business units and you would like to share this report with business units below yours, be sure to check off this checkbox. From here, you can define the criteria for your report. We will begin with the date that we will be pulling all the accounts receivable from. We can select today, yesterday, tomorrow, or select a customized date. Let's pull all the accounts receivable starting from today. If you are using business units, you can select to narrow down based on specific business unit. You can also narrow down based on your customer status. If you are using any custom fields, you can narrow down your accounts receivable based on any of these custom fields. For example, if I want all my accounts receivable based on a contract expiration date, I can select from here. For our example, let's just pull all the accounts receivable from today. In your Layout tab, you can select whether to provide a summary view or a detailed view. The summary view will give you just a total, whereas the detailed view will give you the details of each individual invoice. In your optional columns, you can select to have specific custom fields also appear on your report. Let's give this report a name. Select to save, and then we can run the report. In your report, you will see each individual invoice as of today. For example, here's the Anderson family. Here are all the invoices based on date, the invoice number, here's the description for each invoice, and how much is owed based on the different time periods. If they have any credit towards their account, it will appear under your unapplied payments, and you can also view the total balance for this whole customer. From here, you can print this report, bring specific columns over to Excel, or PDF this report. Let's return to your accounts receivable categories. As you can see, this report has been saved to your accounts receivable category for future use. From here, you can always view, edit, or run this report. Let's return to your report categories. Now we will run a report on all the payments that you have received. Let's build a new report together. In your payments category, you have the different criteria where you can display payments that you have received on a specific date. You can either use the calendar drop-downs to specify a date range, or use the drop-down here to select a date range. Using the drop-down will allow ServiceEU to help you update these dates in the following month. We will select to view all the payments that we have received this month. Again, you can narrow down by business units, and in here we can narrow down by payment type. Let's say, for example, I only want to see all the payments that I've received in cash and check. If you have any customers with an unapplied amount or a credit towards their balance, you can view to include all these items or only include a certain price range. Again, if you have any custom fields, you can select to narrow down by these custom fields. In your Layout tab, you have the option to group your information based on these different categories. And again, you have the option to include any of your custom fields. In this report, we are only pulling the payments that we have received in cash and check from this month. Let's save this report and run it. As you can see, our Cherry Hill Office Park customer has paid us both in cash and check, and here's the total. Let's return to the reports categories again. This time, we will run a revenue report. Again, we will build a new report together. In the criteria for your revenue report, you can narrow down based on the revenue date. You can choose whether to view actual revenue, which is revenue that you are actually collecting now, or projected revenue, what you're scheduled to collect. Again, you can narrow down by business units, your different customer status. You can also narrow down by customer type if you only want to see what you've collected from your commercial customers versus your residential. You can also run a comparison on all the different products and services that you offer. Let's say, for example, I would just like to see how my cleaning services are doing. In your assignments, you can narrow down by teams or choose specific employees. You can also narrow down by marketing campaigns to see which marketing campaign is bringing in more revenue. Again, if you are using any custom fields, you can narrow your report down by any of these custom fields. In your Layout tab, you again have the option to either view a summary or a detailed view. Your grouping allows you to choose how your information will display. Let's display by customer. And again, your optional columns allow you to add your custom fields to your report. In this revenue report, we have selected to display a detailed view of just how our cleaning services are doing. Again, we will save and run this report. As you can see in this report, we can see all the cleaning services purchased by each customer. If you scroll to the bottom, you can view the total revenue for this. Let's return to your reports. The last report we will run together is your taxes that you have collected. We will build a new report for your taxes. In your tax report, again, you can narrow down based on the revenue date. If you are using business units, you can select which business unit to narrow down to. If you are using multiple tax levels, you can select which tax level you would like to view. Keep in mind, Service CEO does have the ability to record up to 5 different tax levels. In your tax liability, you can choose to see actual taxes that you have collected versus taxes that you're scheduled to collect. Again, you have the option to include custom fields. Let's see what taxes I have collected from this month. In your Layout tab, again, you have the option to provide a summary, or I always like viewing a detailed view. And again, if you want to include any custom fields in your report, you can select to do so. We will save and run this report. As you can see, each tax level has been broken down and totaled up for you. This concludes our video on running reports to track your accounting. If you have any questions, please be sure to contact your customer success coach or contact our support team.